Hey everybody, I'm Stephen Human. Welcome to Superhuman Customs. This is the channel where I just kind of customize whatever I want. And this week, we're doing Batgirl. Now, I found her at Kid to Kid, which is like a discount kids clothing store. If you have kids, find a Kid to Kid because my boys burn through their jeans so fast. It's awesome. But they have a little toy section. There's generally just little baby toys and stuff like that that have been, sold or whatever. Well, I found her in box for $6. So I bought her, and we are going to customize. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to use this crappy purple paint, and we are going to make her a little bit more of a classic purple Batgirl. And I think she's going to look awesome. Hopefully this paint will work. It looks like I kind of left, it didn't seal all the way, and so it's kind of gummy on the inside, but it does look like there's paint. So we're going to find out together, but hopefully this will work and she will look awesome. So let's dive in. So if you remember, this paint I don't really like because it wrecks my paintbrushes. It doesn't come off in water. And so I don't usually use it. And if I do, I use it with a Q-tip or something like that. But in this case, I grabbed a crappy brush from one of my daughter's old paint sets. And that's what we're gonna use. And it's just gonna be trash ever after. The paint does look like it's working just fine. Once I kind of got through the opening kind of crust, it seems to be working. And it is purpling her up. The thing I like about this paint though, is that it does go on very thin, and it kind of accents the color underneath it. So the Batgirl generally has one shade of purple here on the body and one shade of purple here on the cowl. And this will give us both shades because she has a lighter gray here and a darker gray here. So that's one of the reasons why I thought that this would be perfect for this. Now I could take her apart and get all this stuff, but I'm not going to, partially because her joints are very tight. And so I don't want to get all under them. I want to get close enough that it's covered and you don't see the gray, but I do not want to get it too deep in those joints, because that's just going to make it so that she's not able to move and it gets sticky and gets all gummed up. So I don't want that. So that's the strategy on her. When it comes down to it, this is a very simple custom, which is nice sometimes. Now you can see here on the back, you can see how it's darker. And so the contrast between, you can tell that it's turning purple, which is great, but it is just going to be darker than the rest of the body. Now, once we kind of get all the coverage, we'll check and see whether, that is in fact how we want it to look. Like we might want to have it be even lighter. I don't know. But this is where we're going to start with. So if we want to lighten it up, obviously we can bring in another purple from another paint set. But I'm thinking this is what I'm going to want. It's all going to come down to when she's done, to how she's looking. Now I'm using the same brush for the detail work because I don't want to wreck two brushes. The great thing is that her details, like with the bat sign and stuff, are, there's not a lot of really crazy stuff that you need to get in here. And so just always remember to get plenty of paint on the brush when you're going into these spots, like I always say, and let the paintbrush lead, let the paint lead, so that you're not touching the edge with the paintbrush, you're touching it with the paint. And that will allow you to get really good texture and stuff in here. Here's another little tip, since I don't want to wreck any more of my brushes. I'm going to hit around the top here of the bat symbol with a toothpick. Just get some paint on it, go into these little areas here, and it works just fine. So you check that out. That works. So if you got these little detail things and you're like, hey, I bought a crappy paint and I don't want to wreck any of my paintbrushes, then in these detail areas, just do that. And it actually works better because it's very precise. You don't have any floppy things. And this is such a dark paint that it really works well. And she's looking great. I mean, she's shiny. This is looking like a very classic Batgirl. All right, the most beautiful thing about doing a dark color on a dark color is that, yeah, you can see the color. Like, she is purple, which is great, but the flaws just don't show up. Like, if you don't get right up to the edge, most of the time it doesn't super duper matter because you can't tell. Most of it is purple, and so your eye fills all in the rest and it says, oh, it's purple. And so, like, going through and hitting all of these areas, it's just really nice. You can see she's nice and glossy purple. She looks like the 60s version, and some of the, you know, the later versions have also had the purple. But this is much more of a Batgirl for me. That's like, yes, that's what I want her to look like. So this is turning out really cool. See, check that out, nice and glossy. And so a lot of the paint's dry already, and you can see how shiny she is. That's what we're going for. Classic 1960s Batgirl. Now as we start on her cowl, we're gonna have to be a little bit more careful. So first I'm gonna get the coverage up here and on the sides. And then I'll go in probably again with the toothpick and do the areas right around her eyes just to make sure. So I don't want to repaint any of the skin here. I really do not. That would be an unfortunate accident if we had to do that. You can see it's really dark purple, so it's gonna shine it up for sure. So just like the rest of the body, it's gonna be shined up, but it's a very dark purple, and it's on a much darker gray. And so yeah, you can tell that it's turning purple and shiny, but it is gonna stand as a contrast to the rest of the figure, which is what we want. Just like with the sign, just come in nice and soft, get around her eyes, and you're pretty wrapped up at that point. Not much left to do. She looks pretty cool. I love the purple. Now, obviously, I don't like this paint. I don't use it very often, but having a throwaway brush, it really did turn out perfectly. I love how the dark purple on the dark, it makes it so that things blend together really beautifully. Yeah, this just turned out really cool and very simple. So remember, guys, when you get a new figure and you want to do something to it, just do it. Play around with it. And sometimes it's simple and you can just go through and make it your own, have it be a little bit more classic look like this Batgirl. Either way, you're gonna have fun. So get out there, get customizing, find cheap figures, you guys. I don't spend a lot of money on figures, or I try not to. I get a lot of them on discount. I just find stuff like this where it's $6. Go and do that. Play around, and then you don't care so much if you screw them up, and you won't screw them up. You guys are doing a great job. So I'm Stephen Human with Superhuman Customs, and we'll see you next week.